guests. Welcome to the drawing session of the AFF Youth Championship 2022. We would like to remind you that in few minutes we will be streaming this draw live on the PSSI YouTube, video.com, and all of Indonesia's social medias. Please turn your mobile phones on silent mode and importantly stay seated throughout the whole event. A very good afternoon to everyone and a warm welcome to the AFF Youth Championship 2022 draw ceremony today. My name is Girindra Kara and I will take you through the drawing session of AFF Under 19 Championship 2022, AFF Under 18 Women's Championship 2022, and AFF Under 16 Boys Championship 2022, along with my partner Asran, who will lead the draw session. We are so delighted that so many distinguished guests have come along us today. We would like to welcome especially AFF Vice President Dato Sri Francisco Calbuadile, AFF General Secretary Mr. Winston Lee, PSSI Executive Committee members Mr. A.S. Sukawijaya, Mr. Haruna Sumitro, Mrs. Vivin Sungkono, PSSI General Secretary Mr. Yunus Nusi, all representatives of the participating teams, and a warm welcome also to the members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, each year the competition grows from strength to strength. This year, the AFF Youth Championships 2022 in Indonesia promises to show an exciting competition with fair play value as the participating nations compete for the Southeast Asia glory. AFF Under 19 Championship 2022 will have 11 participating teams. This event will be the 18th edition and will take place in Bekasi and Jakarta City. AFF Under 19 will kick off on July 2nd, 2022. AFF Under 18 Women's Championship 2022 will be the first ever Under 18 women's tournament organized by the AFF. This competition will have 9 participating teams and the venue will be in Palembang City, South Sumatra. The AFF Under 18 Women's Championship 2022 will kick off July 22nd, 2022. AFF Under 16 Boys Championship 2022 will be the 15th edition of the tournament. The 12 participating nations will compete in Bekasi and Jakarta City. The AFF Under 16 Championship 2022 will kick off July 31st, 2022. So, without further ado, I would pass the floor to Mr. Asran to present the draw mechanism and lead the draw session.
Thank you, Kara, for summoning me.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to present the draw mechanism for the AFF Under 19 Championship 2022. AFF Under 19 Championship 2022 will have 11 participating teams, which will be divided into 2 groups, and teams will be placed in 5 different pots based on the previous editions of the AFF Under 19 Championship. In pot 5, there are Singapore, Philippines, and Brunei Darussalam. In pot 4, there are Cambodia and Thailand. In pot 3, there are Vietnam and Timor-Leste. In pot 2, there are Myanmar and Laos. And in pot 1, there are Malaysia and Indonesia. As I explained in the slide, we have 5 pots. Pot 1 to 5, as per the final seating and pot allocations, we will start from pot 5. I would like to invite Mr. Haruna Sumitro as PSSI Executive Committee member to come to the stage to conduct the draw. Welcome, sir. Okay. For pot 5, we will now draw Brunei Darussalam, Singapore, and Philippines for A6 positions. Please, pot 5, sir. Okay, it will be... Bismillah. We're waiting. We have Philippines. Philippines for A6 positions. And next draw will be between Brunei Darussalam and Singapore. Please, sir. Yes. And B5 positions will be for Singapore. Singapore. And next, the third ball will reveal the team to occupy position A5. Still pot 5, sir. So the positions A5 will goes to, of course, Brunei Darussalam. Moving on to the pot 4, sir. As before, we will draw Cambodia and Thailand for A4 positions. Please, sir, pot 4. We will draw the A4 positions that will goes to, can't wait. Okay, we have Thailand. We have Thailand for positions A4. And next, the second team draw will occupy position B4. Still pot 4, sir. Position B4 will goes to, of course, Cambodia. Okay. We're moving on to the pot 3, sir. Moving on a little bit further here. We will draw between Vietnam and Timor-Leste. And now we will draw 4 A3 positions. Let's see. Vietnam. Vietnam will talk for positions A3. And the second team will draw occupy position B3. Still pot 3, sir. Position B3. Of course, we'll see Timor-Leste. Okay, we'll move. We're on the halfway line. We will draw Myanmar and Laos for A2 positions. We're moving to pot 2, sir. Okay. Position A2 will goes between Myanmar or Laos. A2 will goes to Myanmar. Myanmar will goes in positions A2. And the second team will occupy position B2. That is, last one, sir. We have Laos for position B2. And finally, the last spot, pot number 1. We're moving a little further, sir. The first drawn ball, which is the host team, goes to positions A1. That is Indonesia. And followed by the second team for position B1. Please, sir. For positions B1. Malaysia. Position B1 will be caused by Malaysia. That concludes our draw for the AFF Under-19 Championship 2022. Now I will recap the draw result. Group A will be Indonesia, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, and Philippines. Group B is composed of Malaysia, Laos, Timor-Leste, Cambodia, and Singapore. We wish all the participating teams and the coaches are the best luck. Thank you, Mr. Haruna Sumitro, for joining the draw. Now we'll have a 15-minute breaks before we conduct the next draw of AFF Under-18 Women's Championship 2022. We'll be back after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back with me again, Asran Shady, and now we're moving to drawing station of the AFF Under-18s Women Championship 2022. And allow me to present the draw mechanism. AFF Under-18 Women's Championship 2022 will have 9 participating teams, which will be divided into 2 groups, and teams will be placed in 3 different posts based on the previous editions of the AFC Under-18 Women's Championships. In pot 3, there are Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and Malaysia. In pot 2, there are Thailand and Myanmar. In pot 1, there are Australia and Vietnam. I would like to invite Mrs. Vivin Sungkono as PSSI committee member to come to the stage to conduct the draw. Welcome, Ms. Vivin. As I explained in the slide, we have 3 pots. Pot 1, 2, 3 as per the final seedings, and pot allocations will start from pot 3. Okay. First of all, we'll draw Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and Malaysia for A5 positions. And the first draw ball, which is the host team, goes to position A5, that is Indonesia. And the second ball will reveal the team to occupy positions B4. And we have, can you show Ms. Vivian? Okay. We have Philippines in positions B4. Okay, the third ball will reveal the team to occupy positions A4. Still pot number 3, mate. Position A4 will goes to Singapore. Positions A4 is going to Singapore. The fourth ball will reveal the team to occupy positions B3. Okay, we can't wait for position B3. It's going to Malaysia. Malaysia is positions B3. And the fifth ball will reveal the team to occupy positions A3. Okay. Position B3, A3 will goes to Cambodia. Cambodia for positions A3. We are the halfway line, and pot 2, again, the first drawn teams take position A2 between Thailand and Myanmar. Please, Mrs. Vivian. You'll see positions A2 will goes to, okay, we have Thailand. We have Thailand for positions A2. The second team will occupy position B2, still pot number 2. Positions B2 will goes to, we have Myanmar. Okay, and finally the last spot, pot number 1, the first draw will take A1 position between Australia and Vietnam. Please, Mrs. Vivian, take positions A1 between Australia and Vietnam. So position A1 will goes to, we have Vietnam. We have Vietnam for our positions A1, and followed by the second team for positions B1. Please, Ms. Vivian. Positions B1. We have Australia for our positions B1. That concludes our draw for the AFF Under-18s Women's Championship 2022. Now we'll recap the draw result. Group A is composed by Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Group B is composed of Australia, Myanmar, Malaysia, and Philippines. Thank you, Ms. Vivin Sungkono, for joining the draw. Now we'll have 15-minute breaks before we conduct the next draw of AFF Under-16 Boys Championship 2022. We'll be back after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, back with me again as Ran Shady, and now we're moving to drawing stations of the AFF U-16 Boys Championship 2022. Allow me to present the draw mechanism for the AFF U-16 Boys Championship 2022. AFF U-16 Boys Championship 2022 will have 12 participating teams, which will be divided into 3 groups, and teams will be placed in 4 different pots, ranked based on the previous AFF U-16 Championship. In pot 4, there are Cambodia, Brunei Darussalam, and the Philippines. In pot 3, there are Laos, Myanmar, and Singapore. In pot 2, there are Vietnam, Timor-Leste, and Australia. And in pot 1, there are Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. I would like to invite Mr. A.S. Sukawijaya as PSSI Executive Committee member to come to the stage to conduct the draw. Please, sir, come to the stage. Okay, we're moving to the next slide. As I explained in the slide, we have 4 pots, pot 1 to 4 as the final seeding and pot allocations. We will start from pot 4, sir. On pot 4, there are Cambodia, Brunei Darussalam, and Philippines. And the first team drawn will occupy for position A4. Please, sir. Position A4 will goes to... Okay, we can't wait. We have Philippines. We have Philippines for positions A4. And the second team drawn will occupy positions B4. Come back again, sir. Positions B4 will occupy by... We have Brunei Darussalam. Brunei Darussalam for positions B4. And the third team drawn will occupy position C4. Please, sir, the last ball for pot 4. Position C4 will goes to... We have Cambodia. Cambodia for positions C4. Moving on to the pot 3, we will draw Laos, Myanmar, and Singapore. The first team drawn will occupy position A3. Please, sir. We'll see who's going to make the positions A3. Position A3 will goes to Singapore. Singapore will occupy in positions A3. And the second team drawn will occupy positions B3. Position B3 will goes to, we'll have that note, Laos. Laos will occupy positions B3. And the last, the third team drawn will occupy position C3. Position C3 will goes to Myanmar. Myanmar goes to position C3. Come with the halfway line, and we'll go to pot number 2, sir. We'll draw Vietnam, Timor-Leste, and Australia. And the first drawn ball will occupy positions A2. Please, sir. Positions A2. In the pot number 2 will goes to Vietnam. Vietnam will goes in positions A2. Okay, we'll have that note. And the second team will occupy positions B. That will be Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste will goes to positions B2. And the third team drawn will occupy position C2, the last ball, sir. Position C2 goes to Australia. Australia for position C2. Finally, the last pot number 1. Please come further, sir. We will draw Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. The first drawn ball, host team, Indonesia, and followed by the second one for a team for positions B1, sir. B1 goes to Thailand. Thailand for positions B1. And the third team, the last ball, will draw and occupy positions C1. The last ball, sir. Position C1. We have that note. Will goes to Malaysia. Okay, that concludes our draw. of AFF U-16 Boys Championship 2022. Now we will recap the draw result. Group A is composed of Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, and Philippines. Group B will be Thailand, Timor-Leste, Laos, and Brunei Darussalam. Group C is composed of Malaysia, Australia, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Thank you, Mr. A.S. Sukawijaya, for joining the draw. Right now, we'll pass the floor back to Mrs. Kara. The floor is yours, Kara.
Thank you so much, Ashran. Finally, the draw have finished. Allow me to recap the draw first from, once again, AFF U-19 Championship 2022. Group A, Indonesia, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, Philippines. Group B, Malaysia, Laos, Timor-Leste, Cambodia, and Singapore. And AFF U-18 Women's Championship 2022. Group A, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Indonesia. Group B, Australia, Myanmar, Malaysia, and Philippines. AFF U-16 Boys Championship 2022. Group A, Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines. Group B, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Laos, Brunei Darussalam. Group C, Malaysia, Australia, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Ladies and gentlemen, each year the competition grows from strength to strength. This year, the AFF Youth Championships 2022 in Indonesia promises to show an exciting competition with fair play value as the participating nations compete for the Southeast Asia glory. AFF U-19 Championship 2022 will have 11 participating teams. This event will be 18th edition and will take place in Bekasi and Jakarta City. AFF U-19 will kick off on July 2nd, 2022. AFF U-19 Women's Championship 2022 will be the first ever Under-19 18 women's tournament organized by the AFF. This competition will have 9 participating teams and the venue will be in Palembang City, South Sumatra. The AFF Under-18 Women's Championship 2022 will kick off July 22nd, 2022. AFF Under-16 Boys Championship 2022 will be the 15th edition of the tournament. The 12 participating nations will compete in Bekasi and Jakarta City. The AFF Under-16 Championship 2022 will kick off on July 31st, 2022. We would like to wish the team the best of luck and may the matches be played in the spirit of fair play. We also would like to announce the official host broadcaster of all AFF youth tournaments are Indosiar and Video.com. Thank you for joining us in today's AFF Youth Championship 2022 draw event. We look forward to seeing everyone in Indonesia for the next few months to bring back Southeast Asia youth football competitions after the long pandemic break. Best of luck to all the participating teams. I would like to invite PSSI executive members, Mr. Haruna Sumitro, Mr. A.S. Sukawijaya, Mrs. Vivin Sungkono, and PSSI General Secretary, Mr. Yunus Nusi, to have here and take a picture together. And Asran, we also have to take a picture together.
Yes, all finished. Such an honor to have a picture, a big picture with these beautiful guys.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.